Hello there everyone, this is my first Redesigning Your OCs video, which I really wanted to get this out a lot sooner than I did, but unfortunately when my tablet broke I couldn't really do anything, and so I just kind of sat with 8 OCs waiting to be redesigned, and I was like, you know, but I do have 8 OCs. This is not something that I'm planning on doing forever, and it's not something that I'm currently open for. Like, if you suggest an OC, I'm not going to redesign it right now just because I have other projects to work on. But for this first video, I think I'm going to do 4, and then for another video I'll make sometime soon, I'll do 4 more. This first OC is by Firewolf Girl 56 on Amino. Now, most of these OCs that I got didn't really have any kind of backstory. I believe like maybe 2 or 3 had them, and most of them were in the second video that I have planned, so don't worry about that. But most of them really only had a design, but for this one specifically it was kind of interesting because she was specifically a Pokemon trainer. And actually Firewolf Girl 56 actually did a really good job of understanding typically what female Pokemon trainers look like, at least in accordance to the game series of Pokemon. And she kind of added a lot of that. Like, for some reason, a lot of times in the Pokemon games, the girls look kind of school casual kind of thing mixed with sporty. They usually have like leggings or sports skirts, or they're always wearing sneakers, and they always have something on their head and a bag. I think the main thing this character was missing was something on her head. Originally, I was gonna go with like a large hat, but I was like, I don't really like it. It didn't fit with the whole theme of the character. And so I went more with a headscarf, and I believe one of the other female Pokemon trainers had a bow in her hair at one point, so I was like, it's not too bad, it's a head thingy. I think the main thing, because I didn't change up the design too much on this one, but I think the main thing about this design was that I wanted to change up some of the colors, because the thing is, blue and yellow work perfectly together. They complement each other very, very well, but I think the main issue was that there were so many shades of blue that work well together that sometimes you can just end up with a character that's a myriad shades of blue, and there's like, even if it's like a slightly different hue, you know? And I'm guilty of that myself. I have characters who are many, 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 many shades of blue, so I tried to keep the colors kind of simple. You know, there are about like 3 or 4 shades of blue in this whole character, and then 1 shade of yellow, and then the brown hair and the brown eyes. So I thought it ended up being really cute, and I wanted to make her a little casual, like school casual on the top, and then the sports on the bottom. I made her pants into kind of leggings with those weird things that they have on the side. I think those are like breathable stretch material sometimes that they have on the side, and I just changed up her bag just a tad. But yeah, this is the character. This second one I was a little bit nervous about. Okay, no, I'm not gonna lie, I was a lot nervous about it because it's very hard to make a very unique design for someone who's in a team, and in this instance it is military. And this is a character by Love Sandwich called Leash. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong. It has a pronunciation, but whatever. And it says, he was born sometime in 1988 when World War III broke out. So far he's been fighting from 2004 to 2008, where he's in a resistance against the new Byzantium movement in the Mediterranean. Okay, I can't say that word for some reason. It does not roll off my tongue. And I thought that was really interesting because I know there are a lot of stories nowadays that do the whole World War III thing, nuclear war, whatever, but they usually happen far into the future. You know, some Blade Runner, like, what was it, 2049 or something like that? I don't know, whatever the new Blade Runner movie was, I didn't like it. But, you know, when things are set that far in the future, then you get the whole nuclear war, or the world was engulfed by water or something like that. But this is really interesting in it takes place like the World War III started in 1988, and I thought that was really interesting because it's kind of like futuristic, non-futuristic in a way, because it's like if the world went into another world war, would a lot of our military equipment and the stuff we use be more futuristic in a sense because we're constantly designing more in the heat of war kind of thing. So I was kind of torn between making this character more like how should I put it? Making this character kind of old, like, or more current way that the military looks versus a newer way for the military to look, kind of thing. I don't know. I was kind of caught in between those two things. And I did give him kind of a gun, kind of. I'm not good at drawing guns, but it's kind of like a laser gun kind of thing. I don't know. I was stuck in between the whole future to past thing just because of how interesting the setup was. And I think another thing about this setup particularly is with this character being in the military, he has a certain strict uniform that he has to stand to. So I was like, how do I make a uniform, like, not interesting, but how do I make a uniform unique? Like, how can you tell this is this character as opposed to this other character? And the thing I thought of was maybe they have these like futuristic kind of looking visors, and the different characters have like different colors, and then, you know, when they take off their helmet and their mask and stuff like that, you can actually see their faces. And like, I didn't know exactly what this world war was doing. I didn't know what these wars were. I didn't know if it was a nuclear war. I didn't know if it was like a war on the sea or something like that. So I wanted to make it a little more universal. I don't know. So and you'll see me later that I add a lot of camouflage to this character, because I was like, I only added camouflage to the area around his mouth originally, but then I was like, he needs more camouflage. It just wasn't sitting well with me, the fact that he had almost no camouflage, so I added more. Okay, this next character, I went a little over the top when I was redesigning her, but can you blame me? Like, I tried to pull it back as much as I could and not to add too much stuff to her, but it was just like, it got my mind going into a lot of different places, and I just wanted to add stripes and spots and everything to her, but I pulled back. If you want to add more, you can. I'm not saying you even have to use this design. This was just something fun that I wanted to do. But this is Cream by the user Barry on Amino. And again, there wasn't really like a description to this character, so I was just going off what I saw. And what I saw was a girl with cream on her head and these like gooey kind of like wings, and then she had a dress on and she had rain boots. And I think the rain boots are really cute. I definitely think you could keep that. I didn't draw that here because I wanted all of the characters to kind of be more torso so that I can actually get them all out. I felt like if I did full body, it would have taken way too much time. But I went all out with this character. Look, when you show me a like maybe chibi, younger looking character and you put desserts on them, I'm like, okay, we need to make this one cute. Because immediately what I was thinking of was like a little sweets cherub, and she has these little circular lollies everywhere, and I think you'll see in a bit that I actually make the wings kind of like they are dripping cream, and they have sprinkles all over the place. And I was kind of having a conniption because I didn't know if I wanted this character to be like pink or blue. I didn't know if I wanted her dress to be pink or blue. I believe I settled with pink with a lot of blue accents, but I think it made it a little bit easier on the eyes because I think the blue mixed with her skin color and her hair, the way it ended up being, it was a little too much and it was a little harder to look at. So I went with pink, and she still has like blue under the dress, and the little spots and everything are not pure white, they're kind of blue. The cream has a little bit of like a pinkish hue on it, but I definitely want to make this character just like super cute, and she looks like she could be like maybe a cherub or something like that, like a little sweets fairy or something, I don't know. I just wanted to make her super cute. I also didn't do really shading for any of these because again, I wanted to get them out because it has been a while since I put out that post about redesigning original characters. I kind of wanted to get them out, and I felt like doing all of that would have taken me hours. Like these redesigns already took me hours to think up, but doing even more than that would have taken me a long time. Don't you hate that feeling when you're doing so well, when you feel like you're on a roll and you're getting everything right, and then your computer shuts down on you? That's what happened when I was doing this last character, and let me tell you, it was not a fun time, but I did finish the character, I did. But this is, I believe this is Antishade by Shade the Shadow on Amino. And here's the thing, when I think of anti something, especially if it's anti-shade and you're Shade the Shadow, I'm thinking more of like, of course, a darker side, but like almost like a trickster, trying to get inside your mind, trying to manipulate you in some sort of way, and maybe a little demonic. And that's definitely what I went with this kind of redesign. I don't know if this is like the strangest one in a sense, like from the original one. I still think he has a lot of elements of the original one, but I definitely changed up a lot. I kind of went for this almost like gremlin type look with very sharp edges, because I was thinking like these thoughts, these dark thoughts, these animalistic tendencies try to crawl inside you and get inside your mind, and it's like a tick that you just can't get rid of sometimes. Trust me, I know. And so I wanted to make him like very, like, not look malnourished, but very sharp. Like, you would not want to approach this character in any sense of the word, as opposed to our last character, Cream, who was like very soft and chubby, and you just want to like ask her for some sweets. Like, this one I definitely wanted to change up. I made the horns a little bigger, I made the teeth really sharp. I basically exaggerated a lot about this character, because I think the one thing about like horror and like dark characters that we don't always understand is that exaggerated features, like a smile that goes way too big, eyes that are way too sharp, you know, fingernails, waists that are way too thin, you know, it can really get into that uncomfortable territory for us, where like that is really uncanny, like what is it doing? So that's really what I want to go for this character. I wanted to make him like really weird looking, and I had a few designs for him in mind. I sketched them out, and some of them were like evil overlord design, and some of them were like this little gremlin design, but I was going back and forth. Eventually I stuck with this one because I felt like this one specifically I could add a lot more of the original design in it. I didn't want to go with the whole black and white theme, because while I do like black and white, it was kind of like difficult to sometimes look at your characters when they're just black and white, especially if you're like me and you use black outlining. So it's kind of hard to like, eventually they just look gray. So I added some red into the mix, and I think that made him look a little bit more demonic and a little bit more like a little trickster creature. This was definitely a departure from what I usually do, because if you guys see any of my other stuff, you'll know that I make like a lot of like rounder lines. I definitely tend to veer towards rounder art, but with this one I made it specifically that everything was more of a sharp edge, and everything was like this just unapproachable facade. And I usually don't add like blood spatters on my character unless it's on their fingers, but I definitely wanted to keep that aspect of the character because it seemed like it was necessary for this character. I don't know if this character really has like actual demonic powers or anything. I know I added like the black smoke at the end, but I don't know if this character actually has demonic powers, but that's just what it made me think of. But I really like the theme of this character, and that's what I really wanted to work with. And those are the 4 characters I redesigned for this video. Again, I still have 4 characters that I'm going to do, and this is not an open invitation to suggest more characters at all. I still have those other 4 that I'm going to do, and maybe after that, I'll go in and maybe ask again, or it's like, if I do anything like this again, I'll definitely make a post about it, so there's that. I am considering, I've been considering recently, like, not really redesigning your characters in your own stories, but redesigning your characters into my stories, where I'll take one of your characters and put them into my world, and you can decide, do you want them to be like a devil, an angel, a phoenix, a human, a vampire, you know, stuff like that, and seeing how it goes from there. But if I do that in like soonish or whatever, after I get done with the next video, if I do that, I'll let you guys know, and that'll be that. I won't just start doing it, just spring it on you. I'll just let you guys know if I do that. I'll make a post about it. But that's all the time I got for this video. Thank you all so much for watching. This Purple Zebra signing off, calling for a blackout.